Dtravel made some announcements today, and they usually do their announcements, their weekly updates on Fridays, if you didn't know. And I'm just going to read it through. So they say highlight one. They've been working with Zapier. I don't know what that means. We've been working with a Zapier-like company. I don't know what that means. What's a Zapier-like company? This is the problem. Cryptic messages. We're gonna have to Google it and find out. Building PMS channel manager connectivity, and are currently testing to determine long-term feasibility of the partnership. So I guess Zapier is going to be some kind of PMS or some kind of channel manager. And I guess what's happening is that they've started kind of cooperating with each other to see if there's a possibility of connecting Dtravel with their channel manager. This could be a major unlock. I like it when they say major and unlock. Those two words together are bullish. Always use bullish terminology when you're phrasing things. Major unlock. I like unlocks. That's kind of like when you're leveling up in a game and you finally unlock something and it's like a new level. That will bring many more connectivity options for any vacation rental operator. I don't like the word operator. They should use host, whatever. Using a technology stack where we're not integrated with. Over the past couple of weeks, our engineer team has been extremely focused on shipping smart wallets and Dtravel Direct version 3 booking smart contracts upgrade, marketing push, and details coming soon. So this is the big news, and I don't know if people are aware, and maybe they're not, and maybe I need to remind everyone again that something big is about to happen with Dtravel. This Dtravel Direct version 3 is huge. It's massive. It's not a small deal. It's a big deal. And the team are giving hints already. You know, they're giving us the teasers. And so obviously, and look, this marketing push and details coming soon. I think we have to anticipate this because this isn't a small thing. This is a big thing because Dtravel isn't really known, and I think this has got something to do with something lower down. Look at this. So look on the highlights 3, community and marketing. It says finalizing co-marketing details with a major L2. See that? Finalizing co-marketing details with a major L2. These are cryptic, but actually we have all the information here. There's going to be marketing push with a major L2. So you can work that out. Something big is about to happen. A major L2. Obviously, that major L2 is going to be on Ethereum. And so just think about everything that I've said and talked about. This is big. And it's going to be a massive marketing push. So I think some big things are about to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. Probably next week. Every time people ask me, I say it's probably next week. I don't know myself. That's the honest truth. I'm not on the team. I'm like everyone else. I'm just a fanboy, so to speak. I'm an enthusiast. I'm just trying to decipher the words and try and understand what's happening. Sensei is receiving a major system overhaul aimed at producing significantly improving travel planning conversation flow. I don't know what that means. Researching new L1 options, offering grants. So it looks like the team are getting grants from new L1s. So that's quite interesting. Meetings with human protocol and check first on implementation of check first AI inspection tool to verify listings. No idea what that means. Meeting with Meld to discuss crypto on-ramp solution. I like the words on-ramp. Meeting with big PMS to discuss partnership airdrops and co-marketing. So they should always use this word co-marketing, because I like co-marketing. Finalizing co-marketing details of a major L2. This is really the big one, I think. I think if you're going to hone in on one piece of information in all of everything that's written in this press release, this is the one. Because when you're doing co-marketing with a major L2, yeah, that's not a small deal, that's a big deal. And if a major L2 is going to co-market it, they're going to market us to their crowd effectively. That's what I'm seeing here. That's a big deal. For Dtravel, TRVL is going to be released to the world effectively. It's not a small thing. So I'm quite interested to see what happens and how that reflects on the price, and possibly that the reason why the volumes come in is to do with this. But when I look at the price actually of Dtravel, it's interesting because I still think that no one knows about Dtravel. When I look at the price, oh, is that the wrong window? How do I get back to my window? It's weird. I hate I hate this sometimes. It doesn't show right. There it is. It's still really lower. I think TRVL is a really good price at the moment, because, and I'm trying to focus on the higher time frame. I'm not really that interested in the lower time frame. And I'm basically, when I look at the price with everything that's about to happen and with all of the volume that's coming in recently, I'm like amazed, because we're currently trading below the previous month high and the previous month high. You're basically getting in now at the same price as November, after all of this volume has come in to prop up the price, to hold the price up. So it's really, I think this is really an amazing opportunity right now with Dtravel. I can't emphasize that. With everything that I've read in just now in that Telegram, that finalizing co-marketing details with the major L2, and also the Dtravel Direct version 3. So Dtravel Direct version 3, what is that? It's a world's first actually, because what it means is that every time there's a booking, a reservation, that will be concluded, that will be processed or written on the chain, even if the transaction value is in fiat, it will still be on chain. Yeah, obviously the value is going to be fiat. That's separate. That's done using Stripe. Stripe is a centralized third party for which processes credit cards. But the actual reservation details is on chain in a smart contract. That's actually a world's first. No one's doing this. We're doing this first. So it's quite we're breaching a technological frontier here, and it's quite exciting to see this happen. And I think this L2 that they're talking about is connected. This is all connected, because to be able to do that, you have to use an L2, because otherwise the gas fees are too much on Ethereum. If you were to do it on chain, booking on chain every time using ETH, it'd be too costly. And so the whole idea of using an L2 is that you can put every transaction on chain, and it's cost manageable. It's not going to be expensive to do that, but that opens up the doors, because now when you have all of the reservations on chain, you can do so much more. And obviously I think that's all of what's coming later has got to do with this major first step, which is making sure that all of the reservations and all of that information is on chain. So this is the first step to what's coming later, and it's everything that's coming later is going to be built on this foundation that's going to be established now. I think this is a massive step. So I think part of the reason we saw an increase in volume, it could have been because of this L2 thing. Maybe they bought a shitload of tokens in preparation for that. It could be, you know, no one actually knows who did that, who injected volume into this token. And I calculated it was way over $1 million, maybe more, of token acquisition at these prices, because I was looking at KuCoin. If you look at all of the exchanges on aggregate, there was a lot of it was a big buy. And that's why I was saying this is literally the, like, I don't want to keep on repeating myself, but this I think we're good. Like, I think this is good. I think this is really good. This is looking really healthy. And so obviously people are worried about the price fluctuations. That's the thing. Like, I'm not really looking at the lower time frames really. I look at the daily and above, and I just keep on buying these red daily candles. So I've been buying these every single, apart from this first one, because I don't like catching a falling knife. I don't like doing that. I've bought 5 red daily candles now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I bought all 5 of them. Yeah, I didn't sell this green candle. I could have, but I'm not really in the mood for selling right now. I'm in the mood for buying and growing my bag, basically, so to speak, my bag. And that's the strategy for me, is just buying red candles. And I think it's a really good strategy because you're always buying the lowest prices at the end of the day. And so after all of this price has gone up and down, like, you could have waited. Yesterday you wouldn't have waited. You didn't need to buy yesterday until the day closed, and then you wouldn't have got in at 4.4 cents. You could have come in at 3.9 cents. Yeah, and that's the reason why you wait for the day to close, because then you know if it's a good price on that. Now obviously you could get lower if it goes down and comes back up, because on this day it went all the way down to 3.8 cents and it closed at 4 cents. But and then I on the chart the other day, I was it 2 days ago, I put down these lines and I was trying to explain about levels in a previous stream. And before it actually came up to this level, you see, I marked it daily level, and look how the price reacted to that level. So I think people are starting to understand what I'm saying, that when you form these squares with the green and then the red, or the red and the green, it creates a level of liquidity. So they're the good places to buy and sell. So naturally, it's very possible that we go down into this liquidity here, and I expect the price to come back up. At the very least, I expect that level potentially to offer support, and that would be very normal behavior. So I'm not going to like look to panic sell. I'd be looking to buy more. And I think the first sign of strength that you're looking for now on Dtravel, I mean, we had our first sign of strength last week because we had this weekly injection of volume and we closed above a significant level which I'd marked out, which was it was this one here. I think it was one of these levels here, which I called it the weekly level, a previous weekly level. And we had our sign of strength because if you look at these weekly candles, I don't really need to explain it to anyone. You can see what's happening. This week it came up to backtest, and then it was offering resistance until we broke through last week. And now the price is floating above that level right now on the weekly time frame. Yeah. That was our sign of strength. And that injection of volume broke that level. And now the price is just kind of floating in midair, trying to find support. That's effectively what it's doing. Whether it finds support now or lower, no one knows. But eventually it will get to a place where there will be no more selling and it will just be buying again. And then the price will continue to go up. And no one knows when that's going to happen. And no one knows if that's going to be an injection of volume because of a massive marketing campaign that's about to be launched or something else. Or another whale just coming along and saying, I want a few million of TRVL and I don't care what price I get it at. Because that could with a low market cap coin like this, it can happen anytime and no one's going to be expecting it to happen. It could just happen. There's a lot of wealthy people out there. Once they understand what's happening with Dtravel, they might take a bite at out of that apple. So technically though, I think obviously we're above this weekly level. I think it would be a real sign of weakness to close back down below that weekly level on the weekly time frame now. So I don't think it would be a good sign for us to come back underneath that line with a close. So just bear that in mind. And doesn't mean I'm going to panic sell, but I'm not going to buy if that starts to happen. Does that make sense? Like if the price was to come back down and close there, I would have to wait for, like, because then you don't, the price, what if the price comes lower? You know, like that's how you have to think. You're not just going to buy it. You'd have to wait for the price to come back up to buy it because the invalidation is so small. You would wait. But obviously then if the price came much low, you would buy because then you're getting really low prices. So that's the difference between waiting for lower or waiting for strength. And so when you see weakness, you have to wait for strength to come back or you wait for lower. But at the moment, I don't see weakness. I'm seeing strength. And I think it will be a good opportunity. And I said, like, if you're going to trade this, just trade the volume range. Like if you really want to trade this now, just pull the volume and just trade the volume range. This is obviously KuCoin, and the different exchanges will have different volume levels, and it's very hard to do. They're all saying different things, but obviously look on KuCoin, as soon as you lose, look at this red candle. Yeah, this is the hourly chart. As soon as you've lost this level, you can see that these are market sells. Do you see these wicks underneath these candles? These are all market sells. So people are selling, right? Why are they selling? Because this red candle here, increasing volume, closed underneath these wicks. It was a close underneath these wicks. Yeah. So people started selling. Yeah. And then we lost the point of control with this candle here and more selling. Yeah. I don't have a problem with that. That's fine. You know, like you're just trading the range, the volume range. And when you lose key lines like this on the lower time frame, you have a really easy invalidation, because obviously let's say you were the one. Let's say, who is it that sold this candle? Maybe someone watching the stream sold that candle, right? It's possible because it's not really high volume. How many on KuCoin? What's the volume of that candle? 121,000 coins, right? It's not crazy. And then the invalidation is, well, if the price comes back above this point of control, with a close, then your idea is invalidated, because now your idea is weakness in the local price action. Your idea is that we've lost point of control. That should now offer resistance, which it hasn't come back to test, but that's the idea. So obviously, if you come back up now, then your idea has been invalidated. Then you're stopped out. Mentally, you're stopped out, because you're not expecting that behavior. You're not, if you lose a level, you're not expecting it to, after you've sold, you're not expecting the level to be reclaimed. And a lot of people can be whales in this coin right now because of the illiquid nature of the market, because it takes a very small amount of USD value to move the market in this token. So naturally, after that person sold, oh, sorry, I've got allergies. Sorry, there's cats here, and I react badly to cats. I like them, but they don't work well with me. Hi, David. So when you, if that person sold, then naturally the price is from the lowest point that they sold to where we are now, the price is 3.5%, almost 3.5% lower. Now they could buy back in, and they probably wouldn't get, on average, they probably made 1% on their position because of the low liquidity nature of the token. The point is, you could just trade the range. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if people want to trade this, you should. And it's very easy to trade it because you've got volume levels, and the price is reacting very nicely to the volume levels. The price is behaving the way you would expect when you do volume range pools. And this is on KuCoin, and if I go to Gate, it actually looks better on Gate. If you want to trade the volume range, you see how it went to this point of control. It got down into the value area. This was only just printing. The point of control is at the bottom, so most of the volumes at the bottom. It couldn't get below the value area down here, and then you had this kind of injection of this candle came up. Look, candle came up, back test the point of control, and then it went up, and then look where it went to, into the value area high. See that? And even obviously someone sold, good, that makes sense. And it came to back test the area almost twice. So, and now it's probably heading for liquidity. That's what it do. The price is always heading for liquidity. Will it get down to the point of control again? I don't know. And it may not, you know, it just depends on the interest and upon other levels. But you could also, like, let me just quickly mess about with this. Look, the first time it went up, it's coming, it's not 100%, but golden pocket. We're getting reducing volume in this consolidation range, so I would say that that's quite healthy. Yeah. I think what's happened is the selling is pretty much coming to an end. And look, on Gate, you had an inverse green candle. On KuCoin, I think it was a red candle, inverse red candle. These inverse candles, they have to be at the lows. If you're looking to trade an inverse hammer, it has to be at the lows. So Someone might be going inverse hammer, that's bullish. Actually, it's not, because it's not in the lows. Yeah, and it's not bullish because you've gone into the daily level and clearly rejected and you've closed lower. So actually that's a bearish candle. But the volume wasn't that, it was reduced volume, so I wouldn't really look into this with much notice. And obviously the target is going to be either the low of this wick here or this lower level, which is the daily level. That's where the price is trying to get there. But right now the volume is really low. And you're coming into this 1 hour red candle, which what I was saying, this is a good place to put orders. These are a good place to put orders. These red candles are the good places to put your limit orders. And if there isn't enough selling, you know, the price is just going to go flat and then it's going to start coming back up again. That's what happens. So you just have to see how the price reacts. And so actually on the 4 hour time frame, you see what I was explaining before. We've coming into this red candle now. Technically, that's the 4 hour order block, technically, with the strongest at the bottom here. And so, and look what I was explaining before. When the price came back up, when it came down, these two green candles were the sell blocks. You see how the price came up into this green candle, filled it as much as it could. So it cleared all of the liquidity. Oops. All the liquidity up to this level here on this green candle. And then it went down. Yeah, that's how that happened. Kind of forming some kind of maybe it's low. It's hard to know, like the price like behaves very, it's kind of doing something like that. See how that behaves. So anyway, how is everyone today? Craig? David? David, you missed it. I was like doing Bitcoin. I was looking at the CVD and and it was bearish, by the way. Just let you know. We're in a really good zone to buy right now. Look, from where we are now, it's like 10%. So we're in a like, we're 10% to this lower level now. I don't know why the viewers are still at 1 either. I think YouTube is rubbish. So stupid. I was having a look at the Travel ETH chart, and I really like what I'm seeing actually with ETH, especially when you inverse it. When you look at that, that high volume is just, look, it stands out with a green candle. When you look at all of the volume, look at that in the highs, bam. That's kind of what you want to see, huh? And so I do feel like we're about to drop. Like, I don't know when it's going to happen, but I do feel like it could happen. We could get like a, and then the next question, you know, like if we do get some kind of drop like that, I think the next question is going to be, can we hold it? You know, like that's what I'm thinking now, because I think it's going to happen. But I just want to know if we can keep it going. Like that's what I want. So obviously, like looking at this ETH chart, the best case scenario is that we come underneath this low and hold it here, like on a consolidation pattern. But unfortunately, with these like low, like these really low liquid tokens, people take profits, and because it's of the low liquidity, the price pulls back quite severely. Yeah, that's what happens. If it was more liquid, then it wouldn't happen. Or if there was more demand, like people were like putting limit orders and they were trying to get in without marketing in, then they would go like, okay, you know, they would be like, well, look at the price, it's rallying, I want to get in, where do I get in? Then they'd start putting their limit orders here, and if they had that mentality, then you could get some kind of consolidation range to go up like that. That would be perfect. That's kind of what I would want. That would be like, so if you saw that, that would be like so extremely bullish. And obviously the longer this happens and holds, the more bullish it becomes. But that's kind of like, in my mind, that's probably one of the better case scenarios when you're looking at price action for something like that to happen. But the problem of the illiquid nature of this token is that people, when they sell, the price it pulls back really a lot, pulls back a ton. And look at that in the 6-month time frame. So we have like the previous 6 months. Look at that inverse candle. Technically that's bullish, but obviously it dropped. Now we're trying to recover. And I think best case scenario on the 6-month Bitcoin chart, the minimum best case scenario, so I'm looking at the least best case scenario, would be to come back above, probably coming back above that level there. So to come back up there would be fine, and then holding that level once we're back above it technically would be correct. Yeah, like worst case scenario in terms of a best case scenario situation, like the least best case scenario would be to let's come back above there somehow. Yeah, and then if we have another 6 months in this range, let's not come back underneath that level again. Like this is like, now we're in the lows, we're forming the lows, and once we're back into certain higher levels, let's never come back again. That's kind of what I'm thinking mentally. And then if it can behave that way, at the very least, then we are looking to go up against Bitcoin. And it would be very easy, like against Bitcoin in this current range, it'd be very easy from where we are now to get back to the highs. So on Bitcoin, TRVL is already going to 5x just to get back to the high of this range that we've formed right now. And I'm not talking about the volume range. I'm just talking about the price range. that would be very easy for TRVL to do against Bitcoin in the context of the next 12 months or more. And look, we've already come back into the value area high, pierced it once, and so you kind of want to see that behavior. You don't, this isn't bad, this is good. You want to see these levels pierced maybe multiple times before it finally goes through. Yeah, and each time it pierces it, that level becomes weaker. Yeah, so obviously you look at that and you think, okay, we've back tested that level. We already knew that there was a level there, because you can see here the price reacts off the top of the value area high once. You see how it lost it and it reacts here, okay, and then when it comes through the next time, it just doesn't, it just comes through, it just doesn't even care. And so this, we already knew this was gonna happen. We already knew there was a level there, and you can see it because the chart is basically telling you, here I am. This is the value area high, get through me. That's what the chart is saying to you. It's like, test me. And you don't, you know, it doesn't take a genius to see the lines, but as far as I'm concerned, we have to get through those lines, so to speak. You just have to test them a few times. And so we had our first test, which is great. We've cleared the liquidity all the way up to this daily level on the BTC chart, which is perfect, which is what you want to do. I consider that a test, a cleared liquidity. That's a clear, for me, that's a touch, even though it didn't touch, that's a touch. So we've cleared all of that liquidity in this one move up. We're at the moment against Bitcoin, we're above the value area. Oh God, this is a significant change. Look at this. I didn't even notice this. Oh wait, this is the weekly chart. Let me bring into the daily chart, because for some reason, sometimes the levels behave differently on different charts. So look at this, guys. This is really amazing. Tell me what you think. My previous levels, look, my value area low was here, my point of control was here, and my value area high was here. Look at that, right? And it's moved. Look at that. So I've just redrawn this volume profile of the whole range on Dtravel versus Bitcoin on KuCoin. And look at this. This is interesting. The value area low is now here. The point of control is now here. And the value area high is now here. Okay. So when I tell people that it's bullish for the point of control to come lower because of price action at the lower levels, which pulls the point of control down, this is the example that I was talking about. Yeah, this is what I'm just showing you now has just happened. And you have to come back to the charts to reanalyze, to see what's happening as things develop. But this is really bullish. I'm like, I should just put bullish on my forehead. Look at this. We're now in Bitcoin terms. Look, let me just undo what I've just did so you can see where we've come from. Hold on. All right, look at this, guys. Oh, there's someone at the door. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm back. So look, so before this price injection on the 12th of January, we were trading here in this range here, right? And back then, this was the value area, and I marked it out. So the value area low. So if you can imagine, this is where the price is now. This is the 11th of January, right? The value area low is here on this red line. Yeah, above us. The point of control is here, and the value area higher here. This is the volume value area. The value area based on volume, right? So this is where the price is fair value. So it's if you're underneath the value area, then either you're getting really good prices, or the value area is too high, is value too high. Does that make sense? So if the price is underneath the value area, then either the value area is priced too high for the price, or the price is cheap with respect to the value area. That's basically what it means. So this, we're trading here on the 11th of January at about 691 satoshis, right? For one TRVL, and the value area is above us at about 920 sats. Can you see that? And we've already kind of, and when I say, you know, you have to test the level a few times and then it breaks, look, we tested that level once and twice. You see that? So we pierced it twice. And then what happens on the next day, the 12th of January, which is a Friday, we get this injection of volume, yeah, this green candle, and it pushes the price up all the way up to 2036 sats. And the next day the price comes all the way back down, and we're trading, look, you see here, just above the value area at 945 sats again, until we come to our current price action, right? So our current price action is above the value area, the previous value area, right? The previous value area. But when I've just redrawn the volume profile from the beginning to the end to now, yeah, look what's happened. Not only are we trading above the previous value area, so we finally found acceptance. We found acceptance in the value area, the previous value area. That's bullish as it is. To get acceptance back into the low of the value area is bullish. Yeah, it's a sign of strength. It's a show of strength. If you can reclaim a level, it's like climbing a mountain. If you can get past a certain height when you're climbing a mountain, it shows that you're strong. It shows that you can achieve that goal, that you've done it. Yeah. So we've just climbed a mountain, right? That's what it means. But not only that, because of the volume that's come in at these lows, the whole value area has shifted down. And more importantly, the point of control. Yeah. Because the point of control represents the highest amount of volume at the price in that range. And what this is telling us now is that the point of control is no longer above us, but it's below us. So it's shifted down to this red line. See, I'm just moving it down now. And even more importantly, the value area has shifted as well. It's come down a bit, and that's bullish too. So the price has moved up and the value area has moved down. This is a massive bullish development. I tell you, I can't emphasize this enough. to tell you how bullish this behavior is in terms of the price action against Bitcoin for TRVL, right? And so where we are now with the current value area is that we are now trading above the point of control against Bitcoin. So I expect that the point of control will offer support. Now we're above it. It should offer support against Bitcoin. So we're in a very strong position. We're above support and we're in the value area now. So it's always a struggle getting back into a value area. It's not easy. Oh, hi, Jayway. Good morning. You're doing it right, my guy. It's not easy getting back into a value area. Never easy. Yeah. So we have two signs of strength, in my opinion, here. Getting back into the previous value area, the value area moving down, and also the point of control being moving down now from this higher level down. It doesn't mean, and I just want you to know, to take note, it doesn't mean that this volume previous point of control, which is here, which we can now label as a high volume node, doesn't mean that that's not going to offer resistance. Yeah, doesn't mean that. Yeah, so just bear that in mind. Just because the point of control has moved down, it doesn't mean that high volume node doesn't still need to be flipped into support. And here I've marked SR flip. So the SR flipped I've marked is based on price, but based on volume, arguably it's a little bit higher where that high volume node is. Yeah, and usually volume is more reactive than price usually, and volume is hidden but price is visible, so usually it's better to go with the volume levels rather than the price levels, but that's just you know, people can do what they want. So this is actually quite interesting. I really like this behavior. I think this is a real sign of strength. So I don't mind that we're consolidating now above a reclaimed level. Like, that is expected. It's like reclaiming a level, and now we're just consolidating. And the consolidation is just, you know, some people are taking their profits. Some people are starting to reaccumulate. So what this is called is reaccumulation. Yeah, this behavior is reaccumulation. So obviously certain people have taken profits in the highs, and now obviously they're not going to come in all at once, especially in a low liquidity environment. It's very difficult if you've taken a significant amount of profit in the highs to come in without moving the price back up, and so you don't gain as much. You lose because you're moving the price. Let's say someone, for the sake of argument, sold 2 million tokens at the highs. It'd be very difficult for them to come back into the lows without moving the price back up. So what they would do in a reaccumulation period, they would try to scale in. They would try to scale all of that value back into the lows. That takes some time. So this behavior is very normal, and yeah, I don't mind this actually. This is quite good. This is quite good. I like that. This is a new development, but I really like it. And let me just try and let me reverse it and see what it looks like. Can get rid of that volume profile now because we've got these lines. Let me get rid of this SR flip because I think this high value volume node is more important. Get rid of this SR flip as well because I think this daily level is more important because it's coming at a liquidity level and it touches that price. So this is kind of where we're looking at now versus BTC. Let me just see if there's anything else that I haven't contemplated. Let me just try some things out. I think I mean, it is possible. There are some things, but it is possible to see what we see. I think that looks okay, huh? A little bit, something like that. It's not accurate, but it's kind of giving us an idea that we are slowing down in terms of the move. Let's see what that looks like. And obviously, in the future, when you're like, when like, I do imagine a future where one day we will potentially get past these highs against Bitcoin. And obviously to get there, you know, we have to gonna get above that level, above that level, above that level. We're gonna have to do that. Like this is the path. And I do imagine a time in the future where we do get above this all-time high against Bitcoin, and then we're in Bitcoin price discovery. And I think that is the moment of real increase in value against USDT. Yeah. Obviously, I don't know if this is going to behave the way I've drawn it, because actually what the other thing that I can potentially see happening here, I don't know, but you know, like some kind of something like that. Like, could that be forming some kind of head and shoulders pattern against Bitcoin on a higher time frame? And then for a massive breakout, like here, look, November 24, December 24, something like that. And obviously, we'd be looking to match the distance from the neckline. And so in terms of increase in value from where we are now to the top, you're looking at a 54x on Bitcoin, potentially 54x on Bitcoin from where we are now. And obviously it depends on how far Bitcoin gets. We don't know where Bitcoin is going to be, but by the time that was to happen, if Bitcoin was to get to $100,000 and we 54x'd on the value of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin was at 54, like, can I calculate that in my mind? 54x. Bitcoin right now is about, let's say Bitcoin is about 40 roughly. It's not, but let's say it's 40. That's like a 2.5x from where we are now in terms of Bitcoin, plus a 50x. So 50x. Is that 100x, 150x from where we are now, just on Bitcoin. Oh god, I can't mentally work it out. I have to sit down and work this out on a calculator. I'm not going to do it now, but I think you get the idea. Potentially, I mean, let's see if this plays out. This is how it would look like on a regular price chart. So you're basically looking to get up to this 50,000 sats range. 50,000 sats. So from where we are now, you're looking to get up here on a regular price chart. I don't think that's out of the realms of impossibility, because I don't know if anyone was here in the last bull market, but stuff like this happened, you know. It wasn't. when you look against ETH, it's let me see what it's saying. Like ETH, we've been strong against ETH for a while, to be honest with you. Like even though against Bitcoin we've only just shown some significant strength, we never really lost the value area low against ETH. We were always in the value area, and we didn't need to move the point of control down because the point of control was already where it was. It's just that in the last with that push up on the 12th of January, we were able to get above, for the first time in a while, we were able to close above the point of control. And now this week, we're looking to, hopefully, if nothing else changes, we'll be looking to close above the point of control. So I think we have, we're really showing some strength against ETH. And so actually, we have to see what happens with ETH, because if TRVL is showing strength against ETH, and if ETH starts to perform, then potentially you could expect TRVL to outperform ETH, potentially. And that is something that I'm thinking about as well. And so then you could get into a situation where TRVL is outperforming ETH and Bitcoin at the same time. And so if we get into a situation down the line where that was to happen, that would be the most bullish scenario, I think, to get into a situation where we're looking at so Bitcoin on the right, and at the moment, as you can see, they're kind of synchronous in terms of the way the price is moving. If I bring that, of course it doesn't have it. Yeah. So at the moment, against Bitcoin and against ETH, we're showing strength because we're above the point of control. And look, guys, I'm using the weekly time frame. This is the whole range. This is going back to November 21. This is going back April 22. So obviously against ETH, there's more data because it's on Uniswap, whereas against Bitcoin it's on KuCoin. And I would like the team to, I've been telling them that you need to get on more pairs and stuff, so keep on putting pressure. This is looking really, so I think in terms of like going to the moon, I'm contemplating the moon now. You obviously, what you need to do is you need to come back above, and this is what we have to be looking for. We want the price to get above the point of control, the value area high, and for the value area high to start offering support in some meaningful way. And once that happens, you're effectively the volume area of this value area, this whole volume area will then become your support, the whole lot. Yeah. And so what you don't want to do when that happens is to get back into the value area. That's not what you want. So bullish behavior would be to flip the value area high into support when it becomes as its resistance now. And then if that was to happen on both the charts similarly at the same time, and then obviously that's going to be the best case scenario for us. And then the next target will be the all-time highs. Then you'll be looking for the all-time highs against ETH and against Bitcoin. And then we have to see how what happens after that, because obviously against Bitcoin, we may get another, like it does look like it could form some kind of inverse head and shoulders. Just looking at the way, you never know, like if we did get up there and then went up there and then to come back down to that value area high to go back up for a massive breakout. And if that was to happen, then you're making a higher high, then you'd be looking for a higher low and then getting back up to the highs would be your confirmation of a structural market change at the highest time frame against Bitcoin. So this is the kind of behavior we're looking for. Now it doesn't have to correct that far down. I'm just, you know, this, if it was to form some kind of that right shoulder, it doesn't have to be so, you know, it could be more, that would be more bullish. We had a small shoulder, because it just shows that there's real demand and it's just stopping the price coming down. And then it also shows that people aren't really taking profits in the sense that they're holding, you know. And then the other thing that I was thinking, and so when people like, let me have a look. So at the moment, the exchanges are quite illiquid. And I think what I'm imagining down the line is this scenario. I'm imagining down the line that what happens is we get enough people to hodl. And so in order to hodl, you're buying off the exchange. So the exchange doesn't have access to their own tokens, because the exchanges have a limited amount of tokens themselves, you know. Gate, MEX, KuCoin, they don't have many tokens themselves. Like, there aren't that many around in circulation. They have a large portion which they use for their liquidity purposes, but it's not crazy amounts. And I think what we want to achieve is to get to a point in the future where two things happen, where it becomes so illiquid that either the exchanges themselves will offer incentives for people to stake on the exchanges. The exchanges will do that themselves. So last year, KuCoin did that. So for 3 months, KuCoin offered people the ability to stake their TRVL for 90 days, and KuCoin would give them a higher APR just by staking on KuCoin. And the reason why these exchanges will do that sometimes is because they lack liquidity. And so rather than the exchanges buy tokens themselves, what they do is they offer staking pools. And there's different types of staking pools. The easiest one is the one where you just stake it and you just get APR on your TRVL. There's other ones where you're actually doing some kind of farming or pairing up, and your liquidity pools, a little bit more complicated. And they will either do that themselves. So that's the first step that I'm like looking for, the growth in TRVL. When TRVL becomes a little bit more known and a little bit more significant, and when people start buying it up and hodling it, which is what I'm suggesting, and where the exchanges become extremely illiquid, but the trading volume goes up, so they need to provide that liquidity, then they're going to start offering these incentives in the first instance. That's the first thing that I'm looking for. The second thing that I'm also looking for, and this is going to be the next level for us, is where the exchanges, they themselves buy tokens to provide tokens for liquidity, rather than the incentives. If they can't get enough tokens through the incentives, they will have to buy tokens themselves, you know, and that will be an injection of volume from the exchanges, where the exchanges are buying TRVL when the demand goes up. Yeah. And eventually we'll get into that situation. I think we could get into that situation down the line where we get into where the exchanges themselves, they're either offering incentives for people to stake, but I don't think that I mean, let's just see what happens with the tokenomics, because actually people might not bother with the staking on the exchanges. They might just prefer to participate in the new tokenomics staking ideas that will come out. I don't know what's happening with that myself. Like I saw that Cynthia or someone said that they just want to get it right, so that's why they're taking their time. So we just have to give them time to get that right. And obviously there's a lot of things coming up down the line and in the early next week or whenever. But I think, like, I don't think I'm going to be staking on the exchange when I could be staking on Dtravel down the line. Like, that's what I think. So even if I almost think that maybe down the line it will be possible for the exchanges to buy TRVL because they have no choice. And I think what I want to do is encourage people to hodl and to just take it off the exchanges, so the exchanges become really illiquid. And as the growth of the interest in the token, the price will go up significantly. And ultimately what we want is acceptance into higher prices. Yeah, ultimately that's what we want. And that's going to require two things. It's going to require the demand to come in for the token, and then it's also going to require hodling, like long-term hodling, people just not selling under any circumstances. And I think it's, in the short term, it makes no sense to sell, because we are expecting a bull market to last until basically this line here, September, October time in 25. So it's a long period of time. Like, I don't think people need to be in a rush to sell. And if people don't want to trade, you know, it's no big deal. I don't think it matters. Like, I'm not trading, and it's not a big deal.